I want you to watch this screen very closely. You can see the air quality ring turning red and the numbers on the screen slowly dropping. Most people think this is just a cool gadget reacting to a smell. But as a respiratory specialist, what I am seeing is a literal invisible minefield of particles that could trigger an asthma attack in the next 60 seconds. Here is what terrifies me. I have had patients spend £250 on devices like this, run them religiously for months, and still end up in my clinic gasping for air because they made three critical mistakes that nobody warned them about. Today, I am showing you the clinical truth about air purifiers and asthma. What actually works, what's dangerous, and the one rule that determines whether this device saves your lungs or wastes your money. Hello, I'm Dr. Suman Paul, an NHS and private respiratory consultant here in the UK. I have spent over a decade treating complex breathing conditions, and I have seen thousands of asthma patients try everything from expensive medications to complete home renovations. Before I dive in, two important points. First, I am a doctor, but I am not your doctor. This video is for educational purposes only. If you have severe symptoms, chest tightness, difficulty speaking, blue lips, call 999 immediately. Second, I have no financial relationship with Shark or any air purifier company. What I am about to share is based purely on clinical evidence and real patient outcomes. Here is what most people don't understand about air purifiers and asthma. The UK has some of the oldest housing stock in Europe. Poor ventilation, high humidity, aging carpet, and traffic pollution create a perfect storm for respiratory triggers. We are talking PM 2.5 particles from diesel exhaust, dust mite debris, mold, spores, and pet dander, all floating in your home right now. You buy an air purifier thinking it's the solution. The marketing says 99.97% filtration and removes allergens, so you assume your air is clean. But here is a truth most companies won't tell you. Most asthma triggers don't float in the air long enough for a purifier to catch them. Dust mite dropping, the number one asthma trigger in the UK, are heavy. They settle into your carpet, your sofa, your curtains. When you sit down or walk across the room, you create a cloud of particles that goes straight into your lungs before the purifier can react. This is called settled dust problem, and it's why your GP rarely prescribes air purifier in the clinic. Now let me explain what just happened when I spread that deodorant. The light ring went from blue to deep red in seconds. The PM 2.5 reading spiked from 10 to over 200. The device is detecting a sudden surge in particulate matter, specifically the microscopic droplets and volatile organic compound released by that aerosol. These are the invisible irritants that trigger asthma attack. Pollen, smoke, VOCs from cleaning product, perfume, and even viral particles. The Shark machine uses what's called a nano-seal HEPA system. Unlike standard HEPA filters rated at zero point 0.3 microns, this targets particle down to zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2 micron. That's critical because this is the most penetrating particle size, the range where traditional filters often see a dip in efficiency. This is why the zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.3 micron particle size range is so important. These particles are small enough to penetrate deep into your lungs, right down to the alveoli where gas exchange happens. But they are also the hardest to filter. The Shark's nanosil system is specifically engineered to capture these particles that standard filters miss. Now, before I show you the mistakes people make, let me give you the scientific evidence for why air purifiers can work when used correctly. A major systematic review published in the Cochrane database analyzed multiple randomized controlled trials of HEPA air purifiers for asthma. Here is what they found. For allergic asthma patients using HEPA purifier in their bedroom, 43% reduction in nighttime asthma symptoms, 30% reduction in rescue inhaler use, significant improvement in peak expiratory flow rates. That's a measure of how fast you can exhale, and better sleep quality and fewer nighttime awakening. One particularly compelling study followed 100 asthma patients in urban areas for 12 weeks. Half received HEPA purifier, half didn't. The group with the purifier had 25 to 50% reduction in their indoor PM 2.5 level, measurably better lung function on spirometry testing, fewer days of work or school missed due to asthma. In UK cities like London, Manchester, and Birmingham, where traffic pollution is high, another study showed that HEPA purifier reduced indoor PM 2.5 particle by up to 33% in just 2 weeks. But here is what's fascinating from a clinical perspective. The benefit wasn't just about removing particles. When you reduce the inflammatory load on the airways, the constant bombardment of irritants, the airways become less hyperreactive over time. Think of it like this. If you have a cut on your hand and you keep irritating it, it never heals properly. But if you protect it, keep it clean, it heals and becomes less sensitive. Your airways work the same way. However, and this is where the research gets nuanced, the studies that showed this benefit had very specific condition. The purifiers were placed in bedrooms, not living rooms. They ran continuously, especially at night. Patients also maintained their regular asthma medication. Room sizes were appropriate for the purifier's capacity. No additional irritants like scented products were introduced. When any of these conditions weren't met, the benefits dropped dramatically or disappeared entirely. And this is why I'm so passionate about teaching the correct way to use these devices. The technology works, the science is clear, but only if you avoid the critical mistakes that most people make. Let me show you the three mistakes I see in 7 out of 10 UK homes. Mistake number one, the scent cartridge trap. The Shark device comes with an odor neutralizer cartridge, usually something like Ocean Breeze. It's designed to mask pet smells or cooking odors. But here is the problem. Scented products are respiratory irritants. Guidelines from Asthma and Lung UK are crystal clear. Avoid all scented products if you have asthma. These cartridges release volatile organic compound, in short VOCs, the exact same chemical we just saw spike on the screen that can trigger immediate bronchospasm. Your airways literally clamp shut. I've had patients tell me the scent was overpowering and caused migraine, coughing, even chest tightness within minutes. One patient described it as like being trapped in a perfume shop while having an asthma attack. Think about the irony. You buy a device to remove trigger from your ear, and it comes with a cartridge that adds trigger back in. This completely negates the clinical benefit we just discussed. You could have the most efficient HEPA filter in the world, but if you're simultaneously pumping gases into your bedroom, you are working against yourself. If you have asthma, remove that perfume cartridge immediately. Don't just turn the dial down, take it out entirely. Some users report the scent lingers in the housing, so you may need to clean it with rubbing alcohol. Mistake number two, wrong room size. This SARC device, the HP 150 UK, which is not the one that I showed, it is a bigger one, is marketed for rooms up to 60 square meter. Sounds impressive, right? But here is the clinical reality. For asthma relief, you need at least 4.8 air changes per hour. That means the entire volume of the air in your room needs to pass through the filter nearly 5 times every hour. This number comes from research showing that below 4 ACH, the reduction in airborne allergens isn't significant enough to produce measurable clinical improvement in asthma symptoms. At 60 square meter, this unit only achieves 1 air change per hour. That's not enough to make a clinical difference. For the recommended 4.8 air change per hour, you are restricted to a 12 square meter bedroom, which is a typical UK bedroom. If you are running it in a large open plan living room with high ceiling, you are wasting your time and money. The air isn't being cleaned fast enough to protect you. By the time the purifier processes the air once, you have already been breathing in triggers for an hour. The third mistake is ignoring the settled dust problem. Even the best air purifier can't catch particles that are already in your carpet and your sofa. Every time you sit on your couch, walk across the carpet, or shake a blanket, you are releasing a cloud of dust mite debris, pet dander, and other allergens directly into your breathing zone. Research using particle counters shows that sitting on a fabric sofa can increase airborne particle count by 300 to 500% within second. The purifier might catch some of it eventually, but by then you have already inhaled the worst part of it. This is why air purifiers alone are never enough. You need source control, removing the trigger at their source, not just filtering the air after they are already airborne. The studies that showed clinical benefit, they all include source control measures alongside the air purifier. It's never just one intervention, it's a comprehensive approach. So, how do you actually use an air purifier for asthma? Here is my clinical protocol based on the evidence. Step 1, bedroom only strategy. Place a purifier in your bedroom at least 10 centimeter from the wall. Run it on sleep mode all night. This targets nocturnal asthma, which affects up to 75% of asthma patients. Why the bedroom? Because you spend 6 to 8 hours there with your face 30 centimeter from your pillow. The highest concentration of dust mite in your entire home. This is where you have the continuous longest exposure to trigger. The research shows that bedroom based interventions have the highest impact on asthma control because you are addressing the longest exposure period in a confined space. Step 2, remove all scent and perfume. Take out the odor neutralizer cartridge in the Shark device immediately. Your goal is a neutral, trigger free environment, not a scented one. If you are worried about pet odors, address the source. Wash pet bedding weekly, vacuum with a HEPA filter, and groom pets outdoors. Step 3, maintain the pre-filters. The Shark's debris defense screen are washable. Rinse and vacuum every 2 to 4 weeks. This is what allows the 5-year filter claim to work. If you skip this, the filter clogs faster, airflow drops, and the motor works harder. When the airflow drops, your air changes per hour drops and you lose the clinical benefit. Step 4, pair it with source control. The purifier is part of the solution, not the entire solution. You also need HEPA filter vacuum twice a week. This removes settled particles on the carpet before they become airborne. Wash your bedding at 60 degrees Celsius weekly. This temperature kills the dust mite. Allergen proof mattress and pillow cover. This create a barrier between you and the dust mite. Keep humidity below 50%, 30 to 50%. Dust mite can't survive in the low humidity and it prevents mold growth. Think of it this way. The purifier is your defense against airborne trigger. Source control is your offense against settled trigger. You need both. This combined approach is what the successful clinical trials used. It's not just about buying a device, it's about creating a comprehensive, low allergen environment. So, can an air purifier actually help your asthma? Yes, but only if you use it in the right size room, typically the bedroom and not the living room. You remove all scented cartridge, you maintain it properly, you pair it with source control measures that I discussed, you continue your prescribed asthma medication. The clinical evidence is clear. HEPA air purifier can reduce asthma symptoms by up to 40% and cut rescue inhaler use by 30%. But this benefits only appear when all the conditions are met. Air purifiers do not replace your preventer inhaler. The purifier cleans the room, the inhaler protects your lungs. You need both. If you stop your preventer because you think the purifier is enough, you are setting yourself up for a severe asthma attack. Here is the reality. For some patients, even a perfectly used air purifier isn't enough. If you are still experiencing breathlessness that wakes you up at night, needing your rescue inhaler more than 3 times a week, symptoms that limit your daily activity, frequent chest infections or asthma flare up, you need a specialist respiratory assessment. And this is exactly the type of issue I help my patients resolve daily at my private clinic. If you are tired of guessing what's triggering your asthma, you can book a comprehensive review with me at my clinic. I have put a link in the description box to book an appointment with me. Also, I have provided the link to the Shark air purifier which I showed from my Amazon shop. You will find the link below in the description. I might receive a small commission if you use my link to purchase a product. This helps run this educational channel for the benefit of the patients. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to this channel. I read every comment and I will answer your questions in the comment sections below. Remember, the air purifier is a tool, not a cure. Use it correctly, pair it with proper asthma management, and you will finally experience what it feels like to take a full deep breath without tightness or wheezing. That's what freedom feels like. I am Dr. Suman Paul, and I will see you in the next video.